Hello, this is Robertson Miller again. This time documenting the construction of what actually is my very first river table. It's a small coffee table with a small river and scallop shells embedded. This is the beginning of the construction, the mold, and maple boards. I purchased these maple boards at Ruckler Hardwood in Seattle. It was one board that I then cut in half. This is me belt sanding the saw marks off of what would become the bottom of the table. I kind of thought those saw marks were actually pretty, so I didn't sand them completely away, just enough to smooth them out. I'm working on top of the workbench that I built recently, and I love that it's on wheels. I'll have a link to that construction of the workbench. The first thing I did was cut a bevel on the side of the maple board to make the river a little wider on the top and also give the epoxy river a larger surface area to hold on to using my DeWalt jigsaw. I suppose I could have done this on the table saw beveled as well, but this was fun. So approximately a 45-degree bevel, and there it is back in the mold with the bevel on both sides of the river. And my mold has got epoxy tape underneath, so it's ready for the pour. This is the birthing of a small little sample I made. This was my very first epoxy table, or more like a coaster or something, just for the fun of it, for testing, before I took on a bigger project. And the end result was kind of neat. So here's the river table ready for the pour. You notice I didn't bother with borders on the outside of the mold because I just used caulking. I caulked along the outside of the maple boards to hold the epoxy in if it ran underneath the boards. This epoxy is mixed with a pearl white dye. Do you want them oriented this way or this way?
The 30, I don't know.
Or a 30, yeah, I like that. Like
yeah,
30.
yeah.
This.
30 degree, is that? Or 45? Yeah, that's perfect. I like that. And that's in the middle?
Yeah, it's
okay.
That's
okay.
Do you want this? Do you want them all the same way, or this one like this?
What do you think? I can't decide. Okay, I like that. Yeah. So this, not too organized. Yeah. I like the facing. Yeah, 45 degree. That's beautiful already. Maybe a little to the left. Cause the distance.
Yeah.
Should it be a little over?
Of course, there's space under here too, but it's all well.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
right. We could go get another one and just slide
Yeah, I can go get. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This way. I'll go this way.
That way, right? Okay, I'll go get 2 more.
Okay. Yeah. And then drop it off.
Like this?
Yeah.
Where?
You know where you want?
I can't tell.
That's good.
Oh,
and then
a
kind of
little
wiggle
higher.
it down. And then sort of wiggle it in.
You do that. I'm
It's
afraid.
already getting pretty firm. Yeah, it's a good
Is
thing.
that okay?
Yeah, and then
Like this way. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You wiggle it. I'm so afraid to mess it up.
Okay,
Oh, it looks beautiful. Oh, I love this.
yeah. So there's the river with the scallop shells laid in it. And the next thing I did was mix up a batch of clear epoxy, which we then poured over the top of those scallop shells. I let the scallop shells cure for a couple hours so that they would be firmly stuck on the underlayer of pearl white epoxy. And then I just did a flood pour over the whole thing, over the entire table. And there's the end result. It's not shown in the video here, but as the pearl white was curing, I did some swirls in it. Then my wife and I signed the bottom of the table, and then I did an epoxy coating on the bottom. Those little 4 triangles are glued on, and they fit inside the frame of the table legs, so that this coffee table isn't actually screwed down or physically attached to the legs. It's just gravity held in place. And those little triangles keep it from sliding off of the frame of the legs. You can see those saw marks that I didn't completely sand all the way off because I did think they were kind of pretty. I just sanded them smooth. And it is the bottom of the table anyway, so they don't get seen very much. Took just about 3 ounces of epoxy to coat the underside and also the edges. Also not shown in the video, but I used a router to round the edges. Just enough epoxy to finish it. And here's the end result on the legs. For my very first river table, I was happy with this. So please look up my videos of the much larger river table I'm working on. Thank you.